You right?
Just bear with me. I'm like having a lot of technical difficulties. I just came in, so. Well, everybody's having a better day than I am currently. I'm just gonna be using some white and some purple to work on the nails. I'm trying to like avoid a glare as much as possible. I shouldn't have put it to. I'm thinking to do maybe lavender. but this might be too bad. Like, I think this is like way too light. Like, you can't even really see it. It looks like white. I don't know if I actually want purple or not. I kind of just don't know. Because I don't want it to blend in with everything else. I want it to pop. I've had to change directions for this piece multiple times. So I'm kind of at the point where it's like, I don't really know exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm just figuring it out. I wish I had a small rounded tip brush because all of them I see in here are quite big and I need something smaller to get by the cuticles, but I might have some somewhere else. my paint was already drying. I didn't mix a lot, I just made a little bit, because I don't even know if I really want this color or not, because I have no clue what I'm doing with the background. These are the closest brushes that I can find to be kind of what I'm thinking of. So I'm going to probably try this one first because it's angular and I can get the corners. Personally, I like to wet my brush first before I dip it in paint. Because I don't want it to ruin the brush and stain it. Because with water, it's already pressed in there. So I don't have to worry too much. So I'm using this shade of purple. I don't know if you can see the purple. It's not that dark, not that light. And I'm going to just try to slowly paint the nail. I feel like I should have put white underneath first. So I could see better, because I could not see a thing just now. Kind of difficult to like paint and talk, I'll be honest, especially when you're like trying to think of things to say, because you're already, as a painter or artist, you're already trying to concentrate. So most of the time, that's like definitely when you're silent, you're usually listening to some music and just zoning out. So like thinking of topics to talk about and trying to figure out what to always say is very difficult for me. But I don't want you guys to be bored just watching me paint. So I'm trying to think of things to talk about since there's no questions in the chat at this moment. But you know, one day we'll get there where we're just having a lively party in the chat and everybody's talking and we're laughing, you know? No, it's harder to paint across your body, if anything. I definitely need to add more depth to the side of the finger after I finish with the nails. So it looks like it's not just painted on. It's one dimension. I really should be using my wet palette, but sometimes it just don't happen. Sometimes you just grab and paint and deal with the consequences of colors not matching later when you use acrylic paint. It's actually very similar to a color that I use. I don't know, I might change this color. I kind of like it, but I don't know. It's like looking wonky because I'm trying to. I want it to be crispy, but I don't think this is the brush for that. And my hands are also very shaky as well because the angle is on such a weird slant. Like I wish it was angled the other way because it feels like you're supposed to be left-handed, if that makes sense. I don't know if I like that. Like now that it's physically on the canvas. Let's do another finger. Maybe it'll grow on me. That's like also one thing. Sometimes you have to just sit with it, see how you like it, and then if anything you can cover it with something else. Yeah, I think I need to use a different brush because this brush is not it right now. Yeah, I'm gonna switch brushes because this one is making everything come out very messy, and I don't like when that happens. This might be good for like something else, but not for this. It's making it look bumpy. What is going on right now? I think I'm gonna switch to my wet palette. Just in case I change my mind about that color. I have a wet option. Because right now, it's almost completely dry. I have like such a small section that is still wet to use. Even though I used extender to extend the life of the paint. Hopefully that's like enough. I do have to make small variations of this one color for the shadows and such. So I just have to scrape off just enough. If anything, I could try to remix it because it's on here and it's dry. So far, it's drying down to about the same color, which was one of the challenges that I was facing when I was painting the brown part, since that was not out of the tube color. The colors weren't really exactly matching. So I did want to show you guys, since I was painting another piece on here, I wanted to show you guys how it turned out, because since I didn't go live last week, I just ended up finishing it. So this is what she looks like. Just show you guys how she looks. So I'm trying not to get the glare. Once again, this might be a little bit better. Well, there's still glare over there. It's only glare because she's varnished already. I already had her up in my room. And I really do want to show you guys details, but I'm kind of like hooked. So let me try this. Okay. So maybe I should turn the light just a little bit. Okay, well that's off, basically. Okay, I'm gonna try that. Is that better? So this is her. I'm trying to avoid a glare as much as possible. I'm trying to show you the details in the fro. She also has piercings, of course, because I do. I changed the color of her dress. If you didn't notice, I added more tones and dimension to her dress. I gave her some jewels. I gave her some gold detailing. I added her butterfly friend. I added some lightning bugs in the background to really give it more of a whimsical feel even further. And I even signed her. She signed at the bottom. I will say that I do not have a name for her just yet. Just bear with the shakiness. I'm trying to hook y'all back safely. I have not come up with a name for her just yet. I feel like it'll come to me because I did want to do another piece that like she would be a part of that world too, so like a series situation a little bit. So I'm just trying to figure it out. Like some people, they actually don't name their pieces. They just call like series part 1, series part 2, stuff like that. So I wasn't like, when I had the idea, I really just had the idea for her. I really didn't think of a name, a title for her. I just knew like I wanted to, you know, make her whimsical. So yeah, this is my first full body human piece. I think I did pretty well. I definitely used the same colors that I used for the hands on her, which was like great because I saved them. I always save my paints in these little sauce containers. And since I use acrylic paint, not oil, acrylic paint dries. So I decided to put them in there, and with the wet palette as well. This is the wet palette. It keeps the paint longer, so I don't have to constantly remix or worry about the colors not matching once what I already put down and stuff like that. I just have the same colors. If I need a little bit more, put a little bit more in the wet palette and just add. But this is I searched for a really good gold because I had another gold, but I really didn't like how it looked. It didn't look like gold to me. So I searched on TikTok and looked for a really good acrylic gold paint, and this is a really good one. The only thing is, it does have a strong smell, which is like questionable, like what's in there, but it came out really well. It definitely reflects light, like it really shows up really well on her skin. So yeah, I'm looking forward to painting more things with gold in it now that I found a really nice gold. So now I just have to complete this piece. I don't think there will be any gold in it. Like, I'm not presently planning for any gold, but you never know. I kind of just go with the flow when it comes to painting. I see what speaks to me and stuff like that. I didn't even realize the music stopped because I can't hear it. I still have not figured out how to fix that yet. But so I changed to this brush. This is the number 2 brush. I should pump this up a little bit higher because I'm stretching my back. Trying to reach this at the bottom. Now they say artists are always in a permanent shrimp pose. Like, it's low-key true. But a lot of us try to correct our posture as much as we can. I feel like it's worse for people who draw like on paper and paint on paper because they're at the desk and they're like hunched over on the desk versus when you paint on canvases. A lot of people do stand. I have opted to sit down because I like to be comfortable. I rather be comfortable as much as possible. Once I'm closer to the end of the live, I'm going to show close-up details of the hand so you guys can like see more details that I put in. I will say that it has been a challenge painting hands. You never realize how many colors are in the palm of each person's hands, especially like on a large scale like this. Like, I still feel like I could have added some extra colors. Like, I could have added veins, but I feel like veins would make it feel like a doctor's office instead of something really beautiful. So I didn't go the creepy route with veins. Yeah, I like this brush better. It has way more control to it. Trying to keep it as smooth as possible. I have like shadows. This is better than I can actually see. Some people paint with a stick to hold their hand so their hand isn't touching the canvas, but I think that's more if you use oil paint. This is acrylic, so I can touch it. It's dry. This one. I wish I had a smaller brush than this. Do I? This one's slanted. I have this pointed one, which would not be great. You just might have to turn the brush around, just eliminate some paint off, and go sideways like this. They also artist tip. One thing that I did for this piece, but I didn't do for the piece, the woman on the mushroom piece, I did not spray down my draw lines for the woman with the mushroom, but this one I did. I just had to remember. I did for this one because it was a bigger piece and I knew it would take me much longer to paint it. And it had a lot of details in the fingers where it's folded and where it meets and stuff like that. So I sprayed it down with fixative spray or clear top coat spray, just regular spray paint from the store. And when you rub it, I just realized I'm painting and I'm not even in focus. My bad, guys. I did not realize. Okay, so like, let me show you again. When you rub it, the pencil marks are not getting messed up. But usually, when you do rub a canvas, when you have pencil or any type of like graphite or something that's removable, even if you use like a pen that's not, well, yeah, a marker or a pen that's not waterproof, if you touch it with water or anything that is water based, it will run or it will smudge. With this, since I sprayed it, it does not run. So that's one thing that will save your draw lines if you are struggling to keep those. The only thing that's annoying is you kind of have to, I went kind of heavy. I should have went a little bit lighter. So since I'm using a lighter shade of color, I have to go in with more layers to cover it. Like here, I went in with a few layers. The thumb right here, it's one shade of color. You don't see any of the pencil, but this one you can kind of see it. So I have to go back in and fix it as it dries. But that's not that much of a big deal compared to if you rubbed it and you can't find what you drew and you're in the middle of a painting. Because I draw almost all my stuff in a sketchbook first, and then I project it onto the canvas to draw it however big or however small I need it to be. My sketchbook isn't that large. It's, I believe, 9 by 11 or 9 by 14. So compared to the size of this canvas, which I believe is 30 something by 40 something, maybe. I bought this so long ago I don't even remember. This was like the first really big canvas that I brought, and I was like, I'll put this on here, and this is what's actually on here. My original plan, what I wanted to put on here, is actually not on here, so, but it's okay. It happens to the best of us. That's one thing you have to be comfortable with: flexibility and change. And taking breaks. Taking breaks are so important. You really need it. You don't want to miss out on important times because you were just too busy working. you can't get back moments because you were too busy working. So take those breaks, live that life. You only have one. I feel like her nails are very much, well, this hands now, which are technically my hands. I haven't wore this shade of purple in probably a few years on my actual nails. I've had had this shade on my toes when I took a break from white toes. I really enjoy having white toes. It makes you look tanner. So that's why I like white toes. But also when you use bright colors, you also look very much tanner and darker tone. But also with this shade also is right up there with white toes. It looks really beautiful on chocolate skin. You see the thumb? Might have to scoot it over. Alright, thumb is in frame. And I can just go like that because it's such a big surface area. Don't we love that? I know I do. You can just paint without precision. I'm like trying my best not to be bumpy and too messy. Because I would hate to have a bumpy nail floating around. I'm definitely gonna go in with more brown on the finger to add depth and really build the cuticle. Because like on your finger you have like a cuticle, so I want to make sure that it's dark around the cuticles, just like how my natural nails are. I mean, my natural fingers are. I want the painting to be as real as possible. Definitely can't wait until this piece is finished because of how long ago I started it. Not like I'm tired of it, but I want to see like what happens, the growth of it. This is one of those pieces that I use to challenge myself. Because I struggle drawing hands. I still do. Like, this is a little bit easier because it's just an open hand. But poses, like side of the hand, once you start getting poses and it gets real difficult. And sometimes you can't find a reference for exactly what you want. So you just have to try to visualize it as much as possible where it doesn't look too crazy or like something out of a creepy movie. Because hands can get real creepy real fast. So I'm just trying to work with myself to practice drawing hands and forget about feet. I cannot stand feet. I drew feet for one piece that is still not done because I have to finish the hands. And the feet alone took me a week because I couldn't stand how the feet looked. They just looked horrible to me. But I might go back and work on the hands for that piece, because that piece I've been working on probably since the winter time. I just have to find a home for her to go on, because originally she was supposed to go on this canvas. But as you can see, these beautiful hands of mine are on it. So I'm gonna try something else, maybe something bigger. I'm starting to like understand what people say with canvases, like once you start going big, you can't go small again. But I still love my mini canvases. I just have to find some more and put something on them besides space. Maybe I'll make like a landscape. I haven't tried that yet. A landscape. So maybe I'll try that on a small canvas. They say it's less pressure when you use a small canvas to do landscapes. So we might have to put that to the test. Oh, thank you very much. I agree, they are looking better. I took a break from them because they were looking very criminal. Like they could have locked me up for how ugly they were looking. But they look so much better now. Like they always tell you with art, you have to trust the process. And they're 100% true. You have to trust the process. Through the drawing phase, through the painting stage, all of it. I've definitely learned some tips and tricks. So I will be implementing them for going forward. Like since a lot of things I didn't know, I have to think of the question to look them up or see some tips from other artists. And I'm like, oh, that might work. That actually might be worth trying. So then I try it, see if it works, see if I like it. If I like it, it sticks. Okay, let me see. This one dry. This one's not all the way dry. This one's not all the way dry either. But right here it is. So, lay it down here. That's one thing you have to be careful with painting, getting little dry pieces of paint. Because I have like a few and I've like tried to scrape them up. Sometimes they like mess up the paint underneath, but I also really like the texture that's going on with the hand. I don't know if it shows up on camera, but it looks really good in person. I don't know if I would necessarily call it skin texture, but it's definitely a texture. I have no idea why the music stops every time. But it does. Gotta try something else. Whew. This is a lot of back-breaking work. Comment below what type of flowers you think I should use. Or how you feel about the purple. Just trying to make sure you don't really see the pencil lines. Cover as much surface before I switch the color. I may add like a touch of white to that edge, and then a deeper purple to the like this part should be a little bit deeper in my opinion, because it's deeper in the hand and it has shadows, but like not super deep, but a little bit deep. Personally, I like to use my palette knife to mix versus my brush. Okay, so we have a little deeper shade of purple. I don't know if it really makes a difference, if you can see the difference, but darker shade of purple, original shade of purple, straight out the bottle purple. So I wanted to, I feel like I need a little bit more. Like, I don't want it too dark, but I don't want it to be the same shade. Okay, it's a warmer tone. I can live with that. I feel like maybe this one should have the lighter tone, and then as you go deeper and deeper with the nails, it should become a bit darker. And then I also want underneath to be a little bit different as well. Yeah, I think the purple does make it stand out more. It's just I'm trying to figure out what flowers I would like to add, and if I want to make it colorful flowers, if I want to make it one type of flower, like that's where I'm trying to figure out the challenge. Because I don't want the nails to look crazy, and I also don't want them to just not be noticed. Like originally, I was thinking of doing red nails, so I gave like Auntie, but as you can see, I went against that. I feel like red might have been way too strong for this. Oof, this is gonna be difficult because this is like a really tight area. I might have to use a smaller brush, but I'm going to try my best to keep it in the square that it's supposed to be. Also, like when you're on live, you can't topsy-turvy everything like I usually do. So you have to move instead of the canvas. Like I always end up, if it's not in the right angle, I'm gonna move it to the right angle instead of moving my hand. Trying to save my wrist as much as I can. Okay. It's looking good. And then also another thing with the colors being in the wet palette, once I go back in with shadows and stuff like that, I don't have to worry about trying to remix the colors. They're already in the wet palette, and I don't have to worry about them getting dry. So if you haven't invested in a wet palette yet, I want to go ahead and look into that. As an acrylic paint artist, it is great. I think I went too soon in that little part. It's not covering as well. Okay, now I'm gonna wait for this little piece to dry. I'm going to try to make a shade that's a touch darker than the, just a little bit, but not too much darker. I'm like, is that the same shade? And I'm gonna go in here. Because it's a touch darker. If I have to go deeper, I will. I don't know, I'm thinking of maybe doing a red base for the background. Oh, my back is starting to hurt. Might need to lift it up a little bit higher because I'm scrunching. Like, you just see the difference a little bit. But of course I'm going to try to add as much depth as I can, so it doesn't look like just a flat plane. Okay, it's 7:01. I'm going to sign off once I finish this nail. And I will see you guys next Monday. So, almost done. But definitely make sure you turn on your post notifications to know whenever I post, because I will be uploading the visuals and the audio of my artist talk that I did yesterday. And that was my first artist talk, so bear with me. I definitely was a little nervous, but I was comfortable when the time came. And it's not that long. It's pretty short. It's definitely less than 10 minutes. So definitely turn on your post notifications so you'll know when that is up and live. I'm not sure if I'll post it anywhere else. It might just stay on the channel so the subbies can enjoy that. Okay. Oh, I don't know if you noticed it, but you see the two shades that I was working for? Okay. I'm just gonna sign off now. I just want to thank everybody who comes to the streams. Hey Michelle, thank you very much, girl. Thank you. Thank you, Status. Alright guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And if you haven't already, make sure you turn on the post notifications for all the time, every time, so you don't miss when I post or when I go live. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.